Good morning. I am Melissa with A Creative Journey with Melissa, and today I'm going to show you a background technique using, I know, you're not going to believe this, Saran wrap and actually paint. You could use ink as well, but sometimes ink actually dries too fast, so that doesn't really usually work out as well unless you do it immediately. And as for a demonstration purpose, I thought it would be better to use the paint because it would actually look better. So we have this card. This is what we're going to be making today. And the background is made with paint and Saran wrap. So let's get started. The things that you're going to need to create this beautiful card are, I have a little palette here and I put just a little dab of paint. That's actually probably even too much, truthfully. You're going to need some Saran wrap. I'm going to put this over here. You're going to need some baby wipes to clean off your hands. Trust me. You want some adhesive. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a little bit of twine or ribbon, whichever your choice is. We have also the foam dots to give the three-dimension look. We have ink. Our ink block to put our stamp on. We have our punch. We have our stamps. And of course, we have our card, our piece of paper for the sentiment, and this is what you're going to be using to create the background right here. Okay? Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put all this stuff aside. We don't need this right now. I want to give you a visual of what you're going to need so that you can try to get all your items together. What we need for right now is the Saran wrap, the palette with the white paint, and truthfully, whatever white paint you choose to use is fine. There is no, I personally use Claudine Hellmuth. I love her paint. It's like butter, literally, and it's really, really great the way it works. But you can use any type of acrylic paint that you have, because in this case, you're going to be using the paint more in a drier fashion than a wet, showing the motion and how fluid it is. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your Saran wrap, you're going to bunch it up like this so you get different textures there, and you're going to just take a little bit, barely a little. See that? Not much at all. And I'm going to use the side of the palette to get paint on my Saran wrap. And then we're going to take this paper right here, that's going to be the background, and just blotch away. You can use less, like that, or you can use more by pushing harder. It's all preference in what design you like. I'm going to add a little bit more paint. Now, understandably, none of the creations that you make are ever going to be exactly the same. That would be virtually impossible, because you're never going to go to the same place or create the same area of texture or pressure. So it's really design preference. And here you have it. That is going to be the background for our card sentiment. Our card sentiment is going to go right on top on a tag punch, but we're going to take this and we're going to put it aside because it's still a little bit damp, and we don't want to put anything on it damp because glue won't stick and it won't look right and it might smear and stuff. So we're going to put this aside. I'm going to take my paint and put that aside. Now here is the reason for the baby wipes. clean your surface. And you're all set. It also is really great to clean your fingers off from the paint. So, we have that there. That'll dry. We're going to take the card base and the paper that we have for the sentiment, the stamps, the block, and the ink. So we're going to take the stamp that we want to use, and this is going to be a happy birthday card. We're going to take this and we're going to peel them right off like this. And these stamps are photopolymer and fuzzy right now. Sometimes when you use baby wipes to clean off your stamps, you do get some fuzz residuals. So I try to make sure I check to see if there's any on there. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes it likes to stick to my fingers. Okay, so let's do this here. Okay, so this is your stamp that you're going to be using, whatever your choice is. They're photopolymer and they stick naturally by design. The type of material they are, that's what they do. So that's why when we're done with it, we can just stick it right back on the sheet that it came on. Okay? And these are actually called outside and in. So you have the outside sentiment and the inside. Because I know sometimes it's really hard to think of things to send to people and what to say. So you have happy birthday, may your day be as wonderful as you are, etc., etc. So there's a lot of really good sentiments here, and keeps you from having to think about it. You can just stamp it on and you're ready to go. Okay, so I peeled that off. I'm going to put that on my stamp block. Just push it down like that. Okay. I'm going to take my Memento ink, my favorite ink ever. Oh, look. Sometimes I do push too much on one side. And that's when I stamp like this, and when I ink like this, I sometimes do that. So I'm going to show you another way to do it. Okay. So you can also ink like this, which tends to keep you from getting ink on the block. Just depends on, truthfully, how lazy I am. But in this case, I wobbled it too. But whether you get ink on the sides or not, it doesn't affect your image as long as you don't wobble your image when you are stamping. So let's do this again. I'm going to stamp the image right here on the piece of paper. And here you go. Here's the happy birthday sentiment. And we're ready to punch. So we put the ink away. We're not going to need that anymore. And we're going to wipe off the stamp for now. I do, by chance, just so you know, I do actually clean my stamps off with a stamp cleaner approved for photopolymer stamps, as well as a little scrubbing pad. In future videos I'll show you that. At this point it's easier for me for the video purposes to show you with a baby wipe. Okay, and faster. Alright, so now we're going to take our punch. This is the punch I'm using. It's a tag punch. It's one of my favorites. So we're going to take it like this. And if you've seen any of my videos before, you've seen that I do like to stamp. Sorry, my elbows are squeaking there. I like to stamp and punch, have my punch backwards, so that I can see exactly where I'm punching. Okay, so that's done. We have the happy birthday, and then we're going to take our twine and wrap it around. See, look, I've got paint. Okay, so we're going to wrap this around. 1, 2, 3, and that's just my design choice. You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way I like to do it. And then I'm going to tie a knot right here. And that part's done. This is where we need our scissors so we can cut the extra pieces off. Like I said before, make sure that your string is, actually I didn't say this before, my apologies. Make sure that your string is long enough so that you have enough room to tie it and knot it. So, okay. We've got this here. And if you don't want your knot actually right where it's at, where it's showing right here, I'm going to show you a little trick. You're going to bend this in just a little bit, so it looks like that. And you can slide it down a little bit. And that's what I'm going to do. So see how that worked? So you bend it, and then you're just going to slide it. See how that works? That way you don't scuff up the sides of the paper and make them rip or anything like that. So I'm going to scoot that over here. I think that looks good. I like that down there. And then we have this here. And we are ready for the 3-dimensional foam squares. So we're going to take 2 of these. Place them wherever you feel is the best place for your creation. Okay. And you're going to put that aside, put the foam dots aside, foam squares. And then now this is dry. And as long as you don't put tons and tons of paint on, it'll dry relatively quickly, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Sometimes, depending on what kind of paper you use, you'll see a little bit of bend in the paper, and that's okay. As long as you don't oversaturate it, it won't ruin the paper or make it really, really bad as far as wavy and things like that, okay? So we're going to take our adhesive. We're going to put adhesive on all 4 sides. And I do this because, like the embossing videos I've done previously, sometimes if you have a little bit of wave to the paper, it'll pop up. So no matter what adhesive you use. So unless you use a super, super, super strong adhesive, which can be not only excessive in money, but can also be kind of difficult to continually peel off while you're creating. So this is actually great. I love this adhesive. It's scrapbook adhesives. And so we're going to put this here. And again, this would be design preference of where you'd like to place it. Okay. Just make sure it's sealed on all the sides. Okay. Move the adhesive out of the way. And then we have this. This is the back of the card. We're going to peel off the pieces of paper that are on the back of the foam squares. And then we're going to place this right here. Excuse me, I made 2 of these, so I almost showed you the wrong one. Okay, so I'm going to place this right here. And there you have it. There's your card. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today, and I hope that it will encourage you to try something, maybe something a little bit different, something that you're not used to. Hope you have a fantastic day, and thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, and be sure to check out our other videos if you haven't already. Have a great day. Bye-bye.